कया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुकुं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यईश्वरम्। Wonderful, dear devotees. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Mamita Mataji, for joining. We are reading Luke chapter 2, text 55. Shri Bhagavan Vacha
भगवानुवाच
Prajahati Yada Kaman
प्रजाहाति
प्रजाहाति
यदा
यदा
कामान्
कामान्
Sarvan Partha Manogatan
सर्वान्
सर्वान्
पार्थ
पार्थ
मनोगतान्
मनोगतान्
Atmani Evatmana Tushata
आत्मने
आत्मनि
एव
एवात्मान्
वात्मुष्टः
तुष्टः
Sthita Prajna Stadochyate.
स्थितप्रज्ञस्तदोच्यते।
स्थितप्रज्ञस्तुयोच्यते।
Just to give a context, we started this section of especially talking about sthita prajna, a person who is with the steady intelligence. When I say steady intelligence, not on the material platform, definitely, because anything you do, and I mentioned it other time, right? If Warren Buffett comes and tells you invest in this stock, and then he tells you saying that you invest in stock after 50 years you will have $0, whatever you invest in you will not spend. So steady does not mean you apply for the dead body which is going to become dead one or the other day. Purpose of life is not to earn millions of dollars. The purpose of life is not to actually work on maintaining this body or gratifying this body. The purpose of life is to get out of the cycle of birth and death. The prison house is prison, whether you are wearing the shackles of gold or silver or copper or anything, iron, it doesn't matter. The shackles are. So, similar way, irrelevant of whatever possessions we have in the material world, they are going to bind us in the material world and keep throwing us in the cycle of birth and death. So, we are not talking about a sthata prajna or steady intelligence who is applying on the bodily platform, but we are talking about a person who applies that to get out of the cycle of birth and death. So, who wants to read the translation?
I can read.
Go ahead, Mansi.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification which arise from mental concussion, and when his mind, thus purified, finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness.
Beautiful. This is very important. What is Arjuna asked previously, and we covered that last week. How does that person walk? How does that person talk? How does he behave? And this is what Krishna is answering in this verse, which is when a man gives up all variety of desires for sense gratification. You see, from an ant on the on the floor till even devatas. What is their desire? I want something for me. I want something for me. The question comes in is latest iPhone is launching. Black Friday is coming. Or you need a bigger TV, you need a bigger phone, you need a bigger job, you need a bigger pay scale. What is the ultimate result of it? Ultimate result of it is the happiness that will give these things will give will be temporary and only for a certain period of time. For an example, to buy a big mansion, you have to take care of the mortgage. Irrelevant of you're living in that bigger mansion, you will have to take care of paying of the mortgage. And when the job situation, and I was just reading overall LinkedIn, and I was just this is very interesting, and I want to just read through this. This is so much applicable in today's world. It says unemployed Americans are shut out of the workforce for longer than they have been ever in years. And then another thing says millions of workers are left out of the low hire, low fire US job market. Second, a growing number of CEOs claim that, again, this is AI is increasingly taking over work done by humans, yet they are doing their best not to let it go. Sorry, I just had a little cold. So, the point here is that material world is designed to create suffering. Excuse me. Irrelevant of whoever I am. For an example, a person who is driving a Lamborghini has a dental problem or he has a toothache, whether that inside Lamborghini or it's in Maruti 800, just picking up India example, doesn't matter because external circumstances will actually, irrelevant of whatever possessions we have, when the miseries are there, it's painful. I forgot this world's richest man. I forgot that name. This is not today's stage. He said, what is the biggest challenge? And he said, if I can pass the urine without pain, that is the biggest blessing. That person has millions of dollars, trillions of dollars, but he is miserable. And that is the point which we are coming up to. The whole world is designed around I want to do sense gratification, whether this is for eye, whether it is for skin, whether it is for tongue, whether it is for ears, whether it is for eyes. Everything is around me. And where is that coming from? Mental concoction. Whether I have iPhone 10 or whether I have iPhone 16 or 17, the purpose is going to remain the same, which I have to make a call. And then maybe if you want to check WhatsApp messages. So where does it come? The desire come from that, oh, you know what, if I have iPhone 17, then I'll be the happiest person. Or if I have a 6 bedroom mansion in the best part of the Michigan or whichever part you're living in, then I'll be happy. Well, for person to live, it doesn't matter what house I have. At the end of the day, you just need the shelter. Where is these thoughts coming from? They are created by mind. Mind has three functions. One is thinking, second is feeling, and third one is willing. What does that mean? Keeps thinking, oh, hey, what would happen if this 100K rule is passed? And then what will happen to our H1B? Oh, what will happen to my kids? What will happen to this situation? Or even if you see the other people are getting fired in your job, you say, oh, what is going to happen here? So we keep going from one place to another place, but this is just mind is thinking about the problems. Even if they are not there, we never live in present. We either live in past or we live in future, but we never live in past. Who is making that to happen? Mind. Second is feeling. Even if the person doesn't say anything, like one time there was one brahmachari, and he was coming to the temple, or he was coming back to the temple. He went for a program and he had a severe head. And I have a little headache, so I can understand that. So he just rushed to the temple, and then one devotee says Hare Krishna. So this Prabhu said Hare Krishna and left. So this devotee felt, Are मेरे को देखे ही नहीं. He didn't talk to me properly. Is he upset with me? Oh Krishna, I don't know what did I do wrong. So went on for a week, and next week the devotee when he met, Hare Prabhu, I must have, please forgive me. I must have offended. What happened? He said, the other day you were coming and you did not say it properly. I thought you're upset. What is happening is that devotee has had some other situation. He had a headache and he couldn't focus on that. So mind has a tendency to feeling, just thinking about it, even on the, and willing. I wish I could do that. I wish I could. I wish I would have not make this decision. I wish I would have come to America before. I wish I would not have come. Whatever. That's the tendency of the mind. But the person who is a sthita prajna, purified, finds satisfaction in the self alone. He's not affected. This is Alexander the Great. Um, he he sent his army to find out. Just give me 1 second. Sorry, just clean up my nose. So he came across. Sorry for the inconvenience. So he came. The army came and they saw a sage who was just meditating, very peaceful. So they came back to Alexander the Great and told him, "Oh, you know what we saw?" And you know about Alexander, he kept conquering different parts of the world. So he said, "Oh, you know what? We saw a sage. He was very calm, very peaceful, very self-satisfied." Alexander the Great said, "Okay, so bring him in." So they went in and they asked the sage, "Oh, you know what? Alexander the Great is calling you." They said, "Who's Alexander?" "You don't know Alexander?" "I have nothing to do with him." "He's calling you." "I don't care. I'm just here. If he wants to meet me, come and meet me." The sage was actually back in India and he was conquering and he was coming to India. So Alexander the Great came and then he said, "Do you know who am I?" He said, "No. I am Alexander the Great." "Okay. So what? You should salute me." "I have nothing to do with you." "You don't know who am I." "It doesn't matter. Because today you are one person, tomorrow when you leave the body, you will be another person. You will not remain the great anymore." And he realized this person is self satisfied, not looking for things outside. And this is where the problem is. The happiness is within, but we look for happiness outside. And with material world contaminating the things even more, rather than loving people, we use people. We are supposed to use things and love people, but we use people and love things today. And that is the unfortunate situation of this world. People are not looking for that inner satisfaction. When we have inner satisfaction, the external things will not affect us. That's the real teaching of Bhagavad Gita. How to be in the world but of the world. You're living in the world, but the external situations are not affecting whatever happens. Mataji, go ahead and read the purport.
The Bhagavatam affirms that any person who is fully in Krishna consciousness or devotional service of the Lord has all the good qualities of the great sages, whereas a person who is not so transcendently situated has no good qualifications, because he is sure to be taking refuge in his own mental concussions. Consequently, it is rightly said herein that one has to give up all kinds of sense desire manufactured by mental concussion. Artificially, such sense desires cannot be stopped. But if one is engaged in Krishna consciousness, then automatically sense desires subside without extraneous efforts. Therefore, one has to engage himself in Krishna consciousness without hesitation, for this devotional service will instantly help one onto the platform of transcendental consciousness. The highly developed soul always remains satisfied in himself by realizing himself as the external servitor of the Supreme Lord. Such a transcendently situated person has no sense desire resulting from petty materialism. Rather, he remains always happy in his natural position of eternally serving the Supreme Lord.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Mataji, for reading that. There is a story I want to highlight this point where it says this part. Um, Artificially, such sense desires cannot be stopped. There is a story of Saubari Muni in scriptures. Saubari Muni was a transcendentalist, yogi. He renounced everything and he would actually do the tapasya in cold water under in the river. In the river, not on the boat, in the river to be precise. One day Garuda was passing through and Garuda eats fish. Though Vishnu carrier, but he eats fish because that's the species. For us, it doesn't apply for B because in a human form is a most intelligent form. So if we perform certain act, then we get the sin out of it. So Garuda was eating the fish, and fish went and took the shelter of what Rishi Saubari Muni. Yeah, sorry, I keep forgetting the names. Saubari Muni said, "Don't worry, I'll protect. If Garuda comes next, I will curse him." So Garuda came and he said, "If you come again here, I will curse you to die." Garuda left from there, respecting Saubari Muni. One day, Saubari Muni, while he was in the water, he saw two fishes mating with each other, and he developed the desire to actually have sex life with someone else, opposite sex, and he actually married many daughters of a particular king. I don't remember the name. And that's a problem because when you artificially try to control your senses, it will not work. But you engage your desires, serving Krishna, that will actually purify your desire. Another example is Dhruv Maharaj. Dhruv, which we call a pole star or Dhruv star, he wanted, he was not allowed to sit on his father's lap because the stepmother said, to sit on your father's lap, you have to take the birth from my womb. And he went to his mother crying, "Are, can you help me?" His mother said, "My dear boy, I know it's very painful, whatever has happened to you, but ultimate shelter is Lord Vishnu. He can solve your problem." And he rushed to forest. 5-year boy, we are not talking about an adult. 5-year boy going to the forest, and those time forests were way way difficult to go in versus today. And then he got the guidance of Narada Muni. Narada Muni gave him the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Did. He saw Lord Vishnu face to face within few months, within 6 months. Why did he go to the forest? Because he wanted to be more richer than even his great grandfather, who is Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma possesses everything in material world. He is the Nirmata, he is the creator. Secondary creator. Of course, primary creator is Lord Vishnu, because he provides the ingredients for Lord Brahma to create this universe or universes, whatever it is. So he wanted to become a richest man. But when Lord Vishnu came in front of him, he said, "What do you want?" "I don't want broken piece of glasses." Because that same riches which he is asking for, what is the value of it? Only as long as you are living. After that, your kids may, at the end of the day, you will not be able to experience that. So he said, "I don't want it. I want the eternal home at your lotus feet." And Lord Vishnu blessed him, saying that, "Yeah, you will become the Dhruv star. You will enjoy the world for many, many years. No problem will come in your life. And after that, you will become a Dhruv planet, which is not affected by when the material world is destroyed." So his desires were purified. How? Because he engaged in devotional service. Any questions or comments before we move to the next verse?
No.
No.
Okay, beautiful. Let's read text 56. Dukkeshva anudvagha
Dukeshva
Dukkeshva
anudvignamana
anuvignamanah
sukheshu vigata spraha
sukeshu
Sukeshu
vigata
vigata
sparaha
spraha
vitaga bhaya krodha
vitaraga
Vitaraga
bhaya
bhaya
krodha
krodha
sthita dhir muni ruchyate.
stitar
Stita dhir munir
muniruchyate.
uchyate.
Beautiful. Who can read the translation?
I can read.
Go ahead, sir.
One who is not disturbed in mind amidst the threefold miseries or elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady mind.
Beautiful. What are the threefold miseries? Can someone say?
Um,
You
the
know it, bro.
yeah, the three tapa three.
Correct, correct. What are those?
आधि दैविक, आधि भौतिक, आधि आ- आ- आधि आधि भौतिक, आधि आध्यात्मिक.
Admatic. Thank you. Can
Hmm?
you remember the English meaning of those?
Uh,
That's okay.
no.
That's okay. No problem, Proji. Misery is caused by our body and mind. Misery is caused by other living entities, and misery caused by the nature. These are the three miseries. So very difficult actually. Like where is the story? Which country was that? I forgot the country. So there were a lot of Indians who were living in that country, and mostly Gujaratis actually. I forgot the country name actually. So they had their business. They were very opulently living. They had a lot of money. They were like very rich there. The government changed, and then they decided whoever is there, which is from outside the country, we will take away all their possessions, and they are allowed to go out of the country if they don't want to become a slave. So within overnight, within a one day, the people who were richest living there had to leave everything. Not that they can carry anything or sell anything with them. They had to leave the country, came empty handed. And this is how the world works. When the stock exchange, what was the year when it crashed? Do you remember? When what was that company? Something where um they goofed up. What anybody remember? This was few years back. That's okay. Go ahead,
No,
Shrikant.
no, no.
There was a big company who
Enron?
actually, huh?
Enron case?
No, Maharaj, this happened big time in India. Actually, I forgot this company, Merrill Lynch, like that. I forgot the name of the company. They just went bankrupt overnight, and then the stocks crashed, and people heavily invested. And I'll tell you one story on that. There was um one person, a very rich person. He had a really huge amount of stock invested in Merrill Lynch. And then he went to the advisor as well. Advisor said, "You spend more, you invest more in this." His son actually became a, and he said, "Let's remove all the funds from this investment or this portfolio." The investor was saying, "Are you sick? Are you mad? You're going to gain much more money. Why are you taking it out?" His father was also not in favor. But somehow he convinced his father, we should take out all the money from the stocks. So his father agreed. They took out all the money from Merrill Lynch. The next day morning, the news came. Merrill Lynch became, I forgot the company. I think Merrill Lynch. That's
Are you talking about Harshad Mehta?
yes, correct, 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 Manaji. You remember it. So this guy was saved. However, millions of people or thousands of people, whatever is the number, they were bankrupt actually just because they invested heavily into this stock exchange, and stock exchange broke actually. So, this material world is designed to be temporary. Misery is caused by body and mind, misery caused by other living entities. Even if we are doing good, other people will just somehow or other affect us on natural calamities. Go ahead and read the purport, Proji.
The word Muni means one who can agitate his mind in various ways for mental speculation without coming to a factual conclusion. It is said that even every Muni has a different angle of vision, and unless a Muni differs from other Munis, he cannot be called a Muni in the strict sense of the term. न सर्वरस्य यस्य माता न भिन्नं महाभारत वानप्रस्थ
Vanaparva.
पर्व. But a sthira dhira muni as mentioned herein by the Lord, is different from an ordinary Muni. The Sthira Dhira Muni is always in Krishna consciousness, for he has exhausted all his business of creative speculation. He is called Prashanta Prashanta Ni,
Rishikesha Mano
Nisriha
Antara.
Manorathantara, or one who has surpassed the stage of mental speculations and has come to the conclusion that Lord Shri Krishna or Vasudeva is everything. He is called a Muni mind. Such a fully Krishna conscious person is not at all disturbed by the onslaughts of the threefold miseries, for he accepts all miseries as the mercy of the Lord, thinking himself only worthy of more trouble due to his past misdeeds. And he sees that his miseries, by the grace of the Lord, are minimized to the lowest. Similarly, when he is happy, he gives credit to the Lord, thinking himself unworthy of the happiness. He realizes that it is due only to the Lord's grace that he is in such a comfortable condition and able to render better service to the Lord. And for the service of the Lord, he is always daring and active and is not influenced by the attachment or aversion. Attachment means accepting things for one's own sense gratification, and detachment is the absence of such sensual attachment. But one fixed in Krishna has neither attachment nor detachment because his life is dedicated in the service of the Lord. Consequently, he is not at all angry even when his attempts are unsuccessful. Success or no success, a Krishna conscious person is always steady in his determinations.
Very beautiful, Prabhu. Thank you for reading. We see in Bible Jesus Christ before he was being crucified the night before. He called all his disciples and he started washing. He called his disciple for supper. They call it as dinner for supper. So he called all his disciples for supper and he started washing the feet of his disciple. And his disciples very, it's very weird, right? A guru is washing the feet of a disciple. They were very uncomfortable. And they were asking, Gurudev, why are you doing like that? I don't know what they'll call it is, but why are you doing like that? He said, I want to teach you how you should treat each other. If a guru is willing to wash the feet of a disciple, what does it mean for a disciple washing the feet of another disciple or another peer? Very important. And Jesus Christ pointed out to this person, and he was also a little reluctant what to do. He said, tomorrow you are the one who will crucify me. Jesus Christ knew it. Don't think that he did not knew that. He did not know that. He knew it, that he's going to be crucified. But he's not affected. Can you imagine that you are being crucified? Wow, Krishna. And in spite of that, what is the prayer he is offering when he's being crucified? He's offering a prayer, my dear Lord, please forgive these souls who have no idea what they are doing. This is Christianity example from Bible. Jesus Christ. There is another beautiful from our scriptures, Srila Haridas Thakur, who is Lord Brahma in Krishna's Leela and came as Haridas Thakur, a born Muslim, in Lord Chaitanya's Leela. Lord Chaitanya is Krishna, we spoke about it. So he was not able to stop chanting Hare Krishna. And a Muslim king got to know about it. The Muslims complained, oh, you know what? He's born Muslim, and rather than practicing Muslim Dharma, he is chanting Krishna's holy name. So the king called him. They said him, you stop chanting and then continue our tradition, what you're doing. He said, I cannot control. My tongue is so addicted to chanting the name of Krishna. I cannot, even if I stop my tongue, it doesn't stop. And then the minister of that king punished that he should be beaten up in 22 marketplaces. one after the other, he should be beaten in public so that people do not take up this Hare Krishna, Krishna chanting this mantra. Everyone should be understanding that if I chant the name of Krishna, I'll be beaten up to death. And nobody could even survive. After 4 5 marketplaces, he was given a punishment of being beaten for 22 marketplaces. They were severely beating in spite of. He could have said, "Oh, you know what? Okay, I will not chant," and go in the corner and chant. He said, "No, I cannot stop." And he was beaten in all 22 marketplaces. Even the people who were beating, they were tired. They were crying, if you don't die, then the king will make us die. So he actually behaved like his external senses are gone and he's dead. They threw him in Ganga and thinking that Haridas Thakur is dead. Haridas Thakur raised from Ganga and again came out chanting Krishna's holy name. And they were like, wow. The king also submitted to him. Okay, you must be a great soul. This is very important. This is not an ordinary thing which we are practicing. And this example of Sthita Prajna, so many examples are there who lived the life like that, not affected by what happens externally. Because this body is the cause of suffering today or tomorrow. We have no realization what is going to come in our tray. But when we come to that platform, praying, practicing the spiritual process, coming to that platform of Sthita Prajna, external things do not affect us. And that's how you become internally happy. Any comments or reflections before we move to next verse? Okay, let's read text 57. Yes, sarvatra nabhishenahas
Yasarvatra
सर्वत्र
nabhishenahas
विनाश
tat tat prapya subhashubham
tat
प्राप्य
prapya
शुभाशुभम
subhashubham
nabhinandanti na dvaishti
nabhinandanti
अभिनंदन्ति न
nadveshti
द्वेष्टि
tasya prajna pratishtita.
tasya
तस्य
prajna
प्रज्ञा
pratishtita.
प्रतिष्ठिता.
Who can read the translation?
Again.
Go ahead, Malaji.
In the material world, is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it or nor despising it, is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge.
In Jaipur, there is the deity of Govindadev. Lakhs of people come in the morning. Not on lakhs, I'll put 1,000 on every day. On Janmashtami, lakhs of people. Every day morning, 5 a.m. or 4:30 a.m., I forgot what is the exact timing. Whole Jaipur, practically Jaipur city is there in front of Radha Govind Dev Ji. Where are these deities coming from? Krishna's grandson, Vajranab, built those deities, carved those deities himself. And they moved from Vrindavan when Mughals attacked Vrindavan and they wanted to have the deities safeguarded. And then Rajputs of Rajasthan were very powerful. So they were moved over to Jaipur. And since then, they never went back. So in Jaipur, you see thousands of people coming every day singing the glories of Radha Govind Dev Ji. There was a very rich businessman. He has many factories, or he had a factory and he had many businesses and all that stuff. One day morning, as usual every day for morning Mangla Aarti. And while the Mangla Aarti was going on, his servant rushed to him. Malik, Malik, what happened? Our factory is on fire. He paused. He said, you carry on. I'll finish after Mangla Aarti. You may consider him as a fool, but he wasn't. After Mangla Aarti is over, he rushed to the factory. The factory is almost completely burned. They tried ambulance and the fire brigades and all that stuff. Did not much did not able to help. He said a beautiful line. Radha Govind Dev Ji gave, Radha Govind Dev Ji took. I have nothing to do here. I was like, wow, realization. When you have a whole lot, your whole life is invested in a certain place, and that is being burned in front of your eyes. How do you take it? I want to talk about anything else. If our phone breaks and screen cracks, we are miserable. Or someone makes a big scratch on the car, you buy brand new and you see a car scratch. Here his whole business is burned down, not affected. Simple businessman. Let's read the purport.
There is always some upheaval in the material world which may be good or evil. One who is not agitated by such material upheavals, who is unaffected by good and evil, is to be understood to be fixed in Krishna consciousness. As long as one is in the material world, there is always the possibility of good and evil, because this world is full of duality. But one who is fixed in Krishna consciousness is not affected by good and evil, because he is simply concerned with Krishna, who is all good absolute. Such consciousness in Krishna situates one in a perfect transcendental position called technically samadhi.
Samadhi, not affected by anything else which is happening around the world. There is a beautiful book, if you like to read. I want to suggest that you should read that book called A Journey Home. It's American Swami. He's my spiritual master too, is Radhanath Swami. A very powerful biography of a person who was born Jewish. How actually he, in search of God, goes through so many tribulations in his life, finally comes to India because the inner calling asks him, you go to India and if you are looking for the inner substance, and how he transformed India. It's very amazing biography, actually goes through various difficulties. Highly recommend the book called A Journey Home. Any comments or reflections on this question before we move to next one? Okay. Let's go ahead, Prabhu. All good?
No, nothing. Yeah.
Okay, text 58. 58. Yada samharte chayam
Yada
Yada
samharte
samharate chayam
chayam
kurmo kurmo naga nivasarvasaha
kurmo
kurmo
niga
niganava
sarvasaha
sarvasaha
indriyanindriyarthabhyas
indriyani
indriyani
indriyartha
indriyarthavas
tasya prajna pratishtita.
tasya
tasya
prajna
prajna
pratishtita.
pratishtita.
Can you read the translation?
One who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects, as the tortoise draws its limbs within the shell, is firmly fixed in perfect consciousness.
Very nice, Prabhu. You see, tortoise. There was a beautiful video. Very nice video. Let me find out where is that. I just saw. Give me a second. I'll see if I can. Is this the same one? Yeah. Okay. Let me share you my screen here. No, not this. Uh, can you see the video?
Yes.
Okay. I'm playing this video. Okay. I guess this is the video. See a tortoise, right?
Oh no.
You can see it, right?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay. This lion found this tortoise. He's super hungry. The tortoise, when he saw the lion, he actually took all his parts with the. You see, the lion is sitting on it.
Is she getting into it? Stupid idiot. The other one's coming to us now.
Wow. Can you imagine if you would have been the tortoise? What will be your situation? The other two lions are waiting. If this guy gives up, and then we can take it over. Just sitting right there. So coming back here, sorry. Let's read with that context. One who is able to withdraw his senses from sense object as the tortoise draws limbs within the shell is firmly fixed in perfectly Krishna consciousness. Go ahead and read the purport, bro.
The test of a yogi, devotee, or self realized soul is that he is able to control the senses according to his plan. Most people, however, are servants of the senses and thus directed by the dictation of the senses. That is the answer to the question as to how the yogi is treated. The senses are compared to venomous serpents. They want to act very loosely and without restriction. The yogi or the devotee must be very strong to control the serpents like a snake charmer. He never allows them to act independently. There are many injunctions in the revealed scriptures. Some of them are do nots and some of them are do's. Unless one is able to follow the do's and don'ts, restricting oneself from sense enjoyment, it is not possible to be firmly fixed in Krishna consciousness. The best example set herein is the tortoise. The tortoise can at any moment wind up its senses and exhibit them again at any time for particular purposes. Similarly, the senses of the Krishna conscious person are used only for some particular purpose in the service of the Lord and are Arjuna is being taught here to use his senses for the service of the Lord instead of his own satisfaction. Keeping the senses always in the service of the Lord is the example set by the analogy of the tortoise who keeps the senses within.
Beautiful. Thank you for reading this, bro. This is very wonderful example which is being shown. Coming back to Haridas Thakur, we spoke about his example a couple of verses back. Haridas Thakur, now this Muslim minister tried another thing before actually this 22 marketplace incident happened. So there was actually a village, what do you call, president, however, I don't know, panchayat or whatever they call it as. So this guy wanted to make sure he wanted to defame Haridas Thakur. So hired a prostitute, was the most beautiful in that village, and he told us this is a situation we want to somehow catch him red-handed, somehow make that happen so that I can defame him. So she said, yeah, that's my right hand job, I can take care of it. She went to Haridas Thakur at the time when the whole world is affected by mode of passion. She wore clothes which are kind of attracting to the opposite sex. And then she went in front of Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur will chant 192 rounds every day. So I know we do chant one round at least every day, and I pray that you are chanting more than one round. Um, he would chant 192 rounds every day. So he said, I take a vow of chanting 192 rounds every day. You wait, I will please your senses however you want. She waited, the whole night passed. Morning happened, and then she was disappointed. Haridas Thakur said, I'm sorry, I disappointed you. Tomorrow again you come. I will sure have my rounds done tomorrow also, and then I can fulfill your senses. She came the next day. Same thing happened. Again he promised, you come the third day. By the time she came on third day, just by chanting of Haridas Thakur, her heart was melted. And she started crying in front of Haridas Thakur that this man, this Panchayat guy sent me to allure you, to defame you, and I feel so bad about it. I want to take shelter of you. She became the disciple of Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur told her, you stay in this house, you sell off, you distribute all that money you earned in wrong way to Brahmanas. You stay in this hut, I will leave the hut. You sit every day, keep the tulsi plant, and chant the name of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, in front of Tulsi Maharani every day. These villagers will provide you all the other means of food and everything. And when these other villagers got to know about this Vaishya or this prostitute has become the great sage, they actually would bring her boga. They will bring her prasad. She will eat and just chant in front of Tulsi, and she became a great sage. This is the power of not just restraining the senses like tortoise, but when you engage your senses in Krishna's service completely, it not only transforms you but transforms other people as well. Any questions or comments before we move to the next verse?
No,
Okay.
Prabhu.
Let, okay, let's read 15, very important verse. Vishaya vinivartante
Vishaya
विषया
vinivartante
विनिवर्तन्ते
niraharasya dehinaha
निराहारस्तेनः
niraharasya dehinah
rasavarjam rasopi sya
रसवर्जं
rasavarjam
रसोऽप्यस्य
rasopisya
param drishtva nivartate.
param
परं
drishta
दृष्ट्वा
nivartate.
निवर्तते.
Who can read the translation?
I can.
Go ahead, Malji.
Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense object remains. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness.
Very nice. Thank you for reading this, Mataji. Don't think that after coming to Krishna, those desires will go away. The desires will still be there. They will keep manifesting. However, the control on the senses is so much that actually you are not affected. Though the desires are there, but you don't work on it. There is a beautiful story in the scripture of Bilwa Mangal Thakur. I've heard that before. He was in love with a prostitute. Every day he would go crossing a river to enjoy with her. He was in love with her. One day his father passed and he had to perform the final rites. After performing final rites, there was a heavy storm. So he came to the river. There were no boats there, but his desire to enjoy that prostitute was so high. He actually somehow took some object, he hold on that and came and crossed the river. And then he was knocking the door, but that she was not opening because she didn't realize, she couldn't hear. So he climbed up thinking that it's a rope. He used the snake to actually cross and go up. She saw him, how come you reached here? He didn't realize he actually used the dead corpse, a dead body, to cross over the river. and he used the snake to climb up. She said to him, if you would have so much of attachment to Krishna, if you would put that much endeavor to attain Krishna, you would have attained him. He realized, oh my goodness, that's such a deep thought. His life was transformed. He actually thought prostitute as her guru, as his guru, and he started practicing. And one day he was going from another village and he came to the house of a Brahmana. And when he came to the house of Brahmana, the wife opened the door and she was very beautiful. His desire developed to enjoy with her. So Brahmana fed him nice prasad and he said, you know what, how can I serve you? Whatever you ask, I'll fulfill. He said, I want to enjoy with your wife. And Brahmana actually agreed. And when he went to her, he realized what a mistake I did. And he asked her, give me the pins from your hair. She gave, he poked into his eyes and became blind. And he happened to become a great sage called as Bilwa Mangal Thakur. He writes in his documentary the same thought of having a sex life with opposite sex. When I think now, I feel like spitting at the thought. What a transformation. What a transformation, real story. The taste for sense object remains, but you cease to actually perform such engagement. Why? Because you're experiencing a higher taste. Srila Prabhupada put Govindas, like lot of ISKCON temples you have Govindas, and then the line which is written is the higher taste. Very interesting and very deep. I want to share this based on my personal experience. I started this process in 2008. Couldn't imagine my life without onion and garlic. Couldn't imagine my life without tea and coffee. Tea and coffee is the most difficult thing I can imagine without living. When I left, this is more than 16 years, never looked it back. Arey, I wish I would have had that. I wish I could do that. Or I could do XYZ. I could eat XYZ. Because this Krishna conscious process is such a sublime process. Within your heart, so subtly, it transforms. And your those petty desires will automatically go away. And that is what is being highlighted here. By experiencing a higher taste because you fixed in Krishna consciousness. Let's read the purport.
Unless one is transcendently situated, it is not possible to cease from sense enjoyment. The process of restriction from sense enjoyment by rules and regulation is something like restricting a diseased person from certain types of eatables. The patient, however, neither likes such restrictions nor loses his taste for eatables. Similarly, sense restriction by some spiritual process like Astanga yoga is a matter of yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara,
Yar, Dhyana.
and dhyana is recommended for less intelligent person who have no better knowledge. But one who has tasted the beauty of the Supreme Lord Krishna is the in the course of his advancement in Krishna consciousness no longer has a taste for dead material things. Therefore, restrictions are there for the less intelligent nephites in the spiritual advancement of life. But such restrictions are only good until one actually has a taste for Krishna consciousness. When one is actually Krishna conscious, he automatically loses his taste for pale things.
Thank you, Mataji. Such a powerful act, actually. When you develop that taste, you don't want to go for the lower taste. And I'm just surprised. Before coming to Krishna consciousness, before coming to ISKCON, my understanding of fasting was way different than how it is. And when I see people not eating entire day, not drinking a sip of water, So many examples in a temple. Wow, very difficult, but they do it. And I get surprised when my 9, 10 years son does it on Janmashtami or any Nirjala Ekadashi day. Doesn't eat, doesn't drink. If such a boy or such a young age, a person has such a self control, what a beautiful aspect is that. And this is being spoken here. This restraining the the urges, restraining the senses is very important, because that's how you control the mind. But purpose is not to control the mind. The purpose is to continue bhakti, and that is very important aspect. Things automatically manifest, and it happened to me also. When I was also on your side, I would say, how will that happen? But it did. I couldn't understand because it is such a subtle process. So I think we will end here and we will chat one round. Any comments or reflection on this?
I think if the vision is clear, one can definitely control everything.
Yes, Mataji, very good point. And this is the verse which is being brought upon, that one can, there's 2 points on that. One is one can still control, but after a certain period of time it becomes too much. Like, I'll give you an example. A person who stops sweets for a month, and when 1 month gets over, I have heard from so many people, I have my own example also, how to talk about others. You eat more than what you would have ate in a month, versus when that separation automatically comes naturally, then you are not affected by that desire. Arey, I want to have that again, even if the goal is clear, because these senses are very strong. When these senses are engaged, one of the name of Krishna is Rishi Kesha, controller of senses. So when we engage our senses in Krishna's service, Krishna controls. We don't have to control that, and that's an important aspect. But one has to definitely try, like you said. Very nice. Any other reflections?
Yeah, I think if it depends upon your surroundings, the your control about sense gratification is different. Like, for example, if you are with your friends, sometimes you are kind of less controlling yourself. But if you are in, let's say, in some another surroundings that you everybody is um, with a similar strength, then you also try to control yourself better. So I think it also depends upon the company, the surroundings. Um, that definitely helps. But of course, as a sthita prajna that we learned earlier, is it's like a even higher stage where that person doesn't really care whether I'm in surrounded by somebody who is yogi or somebody who is a bad person. It's still the same. So it's a
Very nice.
very difficult in real life.
Prabhuji, yes, very difficult, but at the same time not difficult. I've
Hmm.
seen in my life, even in our temple, we have two brahmacharis. One is white and second is orange. Actually, three. The others. Anyway, coming back to this, one of them is actually at a very young age. He is in 30s, bro. He renounced. Trust me, the whole world is around Maithunagara, enjoying opposite sex. Controlling that desire is next to impossible for anyone. Leaving that desire and practicing that for rest of his life is a big commitment. Not an easy thing. Things don't go the way we think around. And today, the world in America is much more degraded, even in India. Even India is degraded now. What people wear, what people do on the open street, you can't imagine. Now, imagine for a person who renounced When that come in association with that, is he affected? The desires are there, but he does not act on it. And that is the beautiful aspect of Krishna consciousness. Versus just thinking, oh, I have to restrain, I have to restrain. No, we have to engage our senses. And it's definitely possible. That's what I wanted to share. Purpose is, a person does not directly run Olympics.